Hi, my name is Yazan Ibrahim, also known as Yazan Abu Ghosh. Today we will talk about Chapter 2, Part A, IT Governance 2.6, Enterprise Risk Management. In today's fast-paced and digital-first world, businesses face an ever-evolving landscape of challenges and uncertainties. How do they protect what matters most, like sensitive data, critical operations, and their reputation, while still pushing forward with innovation and growth? The answer lies at the heart of enterprise risk management, ERM, a structured and strategic approach designed to identify, evaluate, and control risks that could jeopardize an organization's success. Let's dig deeper into this concept. Risk management is not simply about spotting problems and reacting to them. Instead, it's about proactively charting a course through uncertainties, like a captain navigating their ship through stormy seas. At its core, risk management involves identifying potential threats or vulnerabilities to critical resources, assessing their potential impact, and deciding on the best way to respond. The end goal is to reduce these risks to an acceptable level without derailing business objectives. Understanding risk appetite, the compass of risk management. Every successful risk management strategy begins with one crucial understanding: risk appetite. Imagine this as the organization's boundary line. How much risk the business is willing and capable of tolerating in pursuit of its goals. This appetite isn't just an abstract idea, it helps define how far an organization can push the innovation envelope without venturing into dangerous territory. For instance, in an IT context, risk appetite will shape decisions about future technology investments, set standards for protecting IT assets, and dictate the required level of security. Understanding this appetite drives the entire process of managing risk, from identifying exposures to designing the appropriate strategies for managing them. Once risks are identified and analyzed, decision makers typically choose from four key strategies to handle them. Avoid. Eliminate the risk entirely by choosing not to pursue a risky path. For instance, a company might avoid launching a particular project if it's deemed too risky. Mitigate. Implement controls to reduce the probability of the risk occurring or lessen its potential impact. Think of this as installing strong storm-proof windows before a hurricane. Share transfer. Share the risk through partnerships, contracts, or insurance. This could mean transferring financial risk to an insurer or spreading operational risk across multiple suppliers. Accept. Acknowledge the risk and prepare to monitor it closely, understanding that it's within acceptable limits defined by the organization's risk appetite. Sometimes risks are outright ignored, whether intentionally or due to oversight. However, this can be a significant red flag, especially for auditors or risk professionals, as unchecked risks tend to surface at the most inopportune times. Building a risk management program, the blueprint for preparedness. Moving from theory to practice requires a structured approach. A risk management program acts as the backbone of any organization's resilience strategy. Developing such a program involves a series of steps. Define the purpose. Before doing anything else, the organization must ask, why are we building this program? Perhaps the aim is to reduce insurance costs by showing proactive measures, or maybe it's about minimizing operational disruptions. Clear objectives help anchor the program and set the tone for measuring its success. Typically, senior executives, often with guidance from the board of directors, establish the goals and strategic direction for risk management. This ensures alignment between the program and broader business objectives. Assign responsibility. A dedicated team, often spearheaded by a risk management committee, must take ownership of the program. But successful risk management can't happen in silos. Every layer of the organization has a role. Executives set priorities, line managers implement strategies, and operations staff monitor risks in real time. Collaboration is key to identifying risks and crafting appropriate strategies to tackle them. The risk management process, a step-by-step guide to consistently and effectively manage risks. Organizations must adopt a repeatable process. Let's break down the steps involved in enterprise-wide risk management. Step 1. Asset identification. What exactly is at risk? This first step is all about defining and categorizing an organization's resources or assets that may require protection. These include tangible items like hardware, software, and facilities, but also intangible ones, such as goodwill, reputation, and intellectual property. Take data, for example. Confidential customer information stored in IT systems can be vulnerable to breaches if not adequately protected. Or think of a company's physical assets. buildings, inventory, or even its staff and internal expertise. Step 2. Evaluate threats and vulnerabilities. Once assets are identified, the next task is to assess what kind of threats might endanger them and how vulnerable those assets are to these threats. For example, human threats, hackers, fraudsters, or even negligent employees. Environmental threats, natural disasters like earthquakes, hurricanes, or floods. Technical threats, software bugs, cyber attacks, or outdated systems. Whether it's a cybercriminal looking to exploit weak passwords or a thunderstorm flooding an on-premise server room, each type of threat must be evaluated alongside vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities can be as simple as a lack of security awareness among users or unpatched software, leaving an open door for malicious actors. Step 3. Measure the impact. Next comes assessing the potential consequences or impact of a threat successfully exploiting a vulnerability. Impacts can range from financial costs like fines for data breaches or lost profits to long-term damage to reputation or customer trust. Think of a cyber attack. The immediate cost might be the ransom paid to recover systems, but the indirect effects, such as losing customer loyalty or failing regulatory audits, can be far more devastating. Step 4. Calculate risk. With threats, vulnerabilities, and impacts understood, it's time to determine the overall level of risk. This is typically done using a simple formula: risk equal sign, likelihood, impact. For instance, if a vulnerability, like lack of encryption, meets a credible threat, like cyber criminals targeting credit card data, and the potential impact is a severe legal penalty, then that risk should rank high on the organization's priority list. Step 5. Evaluate and respond. Finally, decide what to do about the risk. This involves evaluating existing controls, such as firewalls, training programs, or backup systems, and determining if they are sufficient or need to be strengthened. If gaps are found, new measures may need to be implemented to bring residual risk, the leftover risk after controls are in place, within the organization's tolerance. The bigger picture: risk management at multiple levels. Enterprise risk management isn't just a one-size-fits-all solution. It operates across multiple layers, each requiring different priorities and approaches. Operational level, focused on day-to-day risks like system outages or supply chain disruptions. Project level, managing risks related to delivering something new, such as launching a product or upgrading critical IT infrastructure. Strategic level, big picture risks that could affect the organization's future, like technological disruption, geopolitical events, or shifts in market dynamics. These levels don't exist in isolation. A single risk event, like the failure of a critical IT system, can cascade across operational, project, and strategic levels simultaneously, requiring a coordinated response. Risk analysis. Methods. Tools for the journey. Organizations use various methods to analyze risks, depending on their needs and capabilities. Qualitative analysis. Simple, descriptive metrics like high, medium, or low. Ideal for smaller, less complex risks. Semi-quantitative analysis. Combining descriptive terms with numeric values for greater precision. Quantitative analysis. Hard numbers and statistical models, such as calculating potential monetary losses from a specific risk event. Though sophisticated methods such as quantitative analysis provide exactness, they also require robust data, something smaller organizations may lack. Conclusion: enterprise risk management, while complex, is an indispensable ally for today's organizations seeking to navigate uncertainty with confidence. It's not just about preventing losses, it's about enabling growth, fostering innovation, and building long-term resilience. By aligning risk management processes with business objectives and employing the right tools and strategies, organizations can transform risk from a challenge into a competitive advantage. Thank you for watching, and as always, continue learning. Stay curious, and we'll see you next video.